Groton Woods marks the start of a lovely walk exploring the history around the villages of Lyndsey and Groton in Suffolk. After exploring Groton Woods Nature Reserve, the route heads out past Kersey Tye and across fields close to Lyndsey Castle and St James's Chapel. Country lanes are then followed for a couple of miles to Groton Park, where the route passes Groton Pitches Mount, another castle earthwork, before returning to Groton Woods. Groton Woods is a beautiful woodland nature reserve owned and managed by Suffolk Wildlife Trust. It covers an area of around 50 acres and is home to some rare woodland species, including large wild cherry trees, and it's believed that the northern part of the wood has existed since prehistoric times. Leaving the woods by the eastern entrance, the route joins the road and heads to a tiny hamlet called Kersey Tye. Turning left towards Bridges Farm, there is a public footpath about 100 metres along this lane that crosses the vast open fields. The crossfield path heads in the direction of Lyndsey Castle, with views down the valley towards the village of Kersey. Lyndsey Castle sits about 150 metres away from the path, with the location being seen later on from the road. But from the air, the layout of the castle and earthworks are very obvious, but covered in a dense layer of woodland. The castle itself is a motte and bailey, covering around 5 acres in total. The earthworks remain to a height of up to 2.5 metres, with a massive bailey ditch 3.5 metres wide and 2.7 metres deep. The main entrance was along a causeway on the bailey's western side, with finds on the site dating the castle to the 11th or 12th century. Continuing along the path, the route crosses the stream which is the outflow of one of the fish ponds created for the castle, and joins the road, which is then followed west towards St James's Chapel. There are numerous earthworks in the nearby fields relating to the chapel, which itself dates to the 14th century and served the nearby castle until it was abandoned in 1400. The chapel is in the care of English Heritage and is free to explore. Continuing west and turning left at the road junction, the lane heads southwest towards Groton Park. Just in the field to the right are the remains of a moat, of which most is now ploughed out and of unknown date or function. The tithe map of 1838 shows a possible barn within an enclosure and is given the name Yards. Another left turn along the road leads south past Groton Park to a public footpath tucked in the bushes just to the left. This path crosses Groton Park and past Croton House, a Grade 2 listed building dating from the early 18th century and likely incorporating parts of an earlier building. As you continue through Groton Park, the public footpath enters an area of woodland with a large earthwork listed on the OS map as Pitches Mount. At nearly 200 feet in diameter at the base and rising to a height of 20 feet, this Pitches Mount is actually a fine example of a ring motte of unknown date, but likely 11th or 12th century. The top of the motte is in good preservation, except for a large ramp cut into the mound, likely to make the motte a garden feature for the nearby Croton House. Continuing east along the path, it eventually crosses a narrow lane where another path is picked up, heading northeast towards Manning's farm and eventually back to the small car park at Groton Woods.